#1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow for our special coverage of the Heads of Agreement signing here from the Grand Lucayan Resort.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. Ushering in some new hope for the island of Grand Bahama, all roads point to the north for the official Heads of Agreement signing for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Also ensuring the tourism product remains competitive and strong amidst uncertain times. That's the call of one hotelier. And the ongoing modernization of the country's financial services sector through Parliament. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. In a matter of hours, tourism officials will assemble in Grand Bahama for the much-anticipated Grand Lucayan Resort Heads of Agreement signing, as the property has overcome a number of hurdles, including a failed HOA arranged under the former administration. Tomorrow's signing is ushering new hope for a change in tide for the Grand Bahama economy. Lloyd Allen starts us off at 11.
Hope is riding high for the Grand Lucayan HOA signing set for Thursday. And according to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister responsible for tourism investments and aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, this is good news for the second city as the government continues to strengthen the economy there.
Grand Bahama is already leading all of the destinations in the Bahamas in airlift, with 11.6% ahead of last year.
The resort in August 2018 was acquired by the government from Hutchinson Whampoa to avoid a permanent closure and was built on the legacy of the Holiday Inn and Atlantic Beach Hotel. The DPM says $1.2 million in maintenance cost was spent monthly since the acquisition, but considers it a worthy investment toward the resort's resale.
There would have still been substantial fixed costs that would persist. For example, you had to keep the air conditioner on, and if you didn't do that, the place would become quickly mold infested and deteriorate rapidly.
With optimism riding high, the deal also hailed as a positive advancement by former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who too made attempts toward revitalizing the property with a failed Heads of Agreement signed back in 2020.
And it would please me and please the average Bahamian, if not all, if this were to materialize, because it would be good for Grand Bahama and be good for the Bahamian people.
Coalition of Independence representative and Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Iram Lewis also offered high hopes today in Parliament on the project.
We want this to be a very successful venture for the island of Grand Bahama. We want us to really kickstart our economy.
And as Cooper thanked employees and residents for their patience over time toward the years of uncertainty surrounding the property, he was tight-lipped on the new investor, simply saying,
"You'll confirm it at 2 o'clock tomorrow."
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks, Lloyd. The real deal. That's the word from Minister for Grand Bahama ahead of tomorrow's Heads of Agreement signing, signaling what's expected to be a revitalization of that island's economy. She sat down with our Devontae Hanna to set the wheels in motion.
We're here inside the Grand Lucayan where the final preparations are underway for tomorrow, but as you can see, the stage has been set. The shovels are in place for what the minister is calling the true revitalization of Grand Bahama.
It is happening. I am excited. It means so much for the people of Grand Bahama who have weathered this storm.
And after years of searching, the Davis administration is confident that they've finally struck the right deal for the Grand Lucayan Resort.
We've ensured that it incorporated not just the Grand Lucayan, but the surrounding area. And so I think that's huge for the people in the marketplace and everyone and everywhere else.
The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says the process was thorough as the government waded through dozens of investors who sought after the property, currently costing the Bahamian taxpayer in excess of $40 million a year.
We took our time, but we are excited to have the right buyer, the right deal for the people of Grand Bahama Island.
But she's not touting this as the only victory for Grand Bahama. Moxie says since coming into office, much has been done, and she commits the work will continue.
Right away, we got to work, and we started to do the big things, which took a lot of time to get it done, and also what is considered the small things. But that's the things that allowed us to be able to empower people, cause them to be able to put bread on the table with initiatives like Beautiful Grand Bahama.
The focus is on the Lucaya area, which officials hope will reemerge as the tourist hub on the island. Hours before the big event, the Grand Lucayan is buzzing with last-minute preparations. And as the minister says, there's no turning back now.
There was a visit earlier last year where, we did some tours and all that, and we finally arrived at this point where we're ready to, sign the deal, seal the deal.
You may be wondering, why do I have a hard hat in my hand? Well, we're told that tomorrow there will be a special demonstration that will signify that the work is to commence here on this property almost immediately, but you'll have to stick around for our special broadcast tomorrow to find out exactly what that will be. So from the Grand Lucayan Resort, I'm going to send it back to you in studio.
Thanks, Devontae. We want to remind you that our live television and radio coverage of tomorrow's Heads of Agreement signing for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort starts at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon with a pre-show led by our colleagues at the Northern Service in Freeport. The Heads of Agreement signing ceremony begins at 2 p.m. A demolition exercise starts an hour later at 3 p.m. ZNS's coverage concludes at 4 p.m. but returns at 5:30 p.m. with the Junkanoo rush out from the Grand Lucayan to the Port Lucaya Marketplace. At 6:15 p.m., Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is expected to deliver an address about Port Lucaya. And you can stay tuned for the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, which will be followed by a special edition of The Rundown with Clint Watson from Grand Bahama. On the eve of what will be another historic moment and a major milestone for the country's #1 industry, a veteran hotelier tonight is calling for even greater focus in ensuring the tourism product remains strong amid uncertain times. Here's Corvell Pyfrom with that story.
Royston, it's true. 2025's numbers in terms of guest arrivals are down compared to last year, but that is not diminishing Robert Sands' optimism for both Bahama and the tourism industry. In fact, he sees this as opportunity. But first, there needs to be clear focus.
Trending slightly behind last year, as I mentioned, but even of greater concern, rate down as well, but we don't think all is lost.
Behind those words, Robert Sands, Bahamas senior exec in charge of government and external matters, hastens to qualify that even though the first quarter's numbers this year are down from last year's, Bahama, like the Bahamas, is poised for better days ahead. Overall, this period, he thinks, should be used to build cohesion among various stakeholders. Sands wants more engagement with vacation rental owners, namely Airbnbs.
What we really need is to get all of those parties together, be able to work collaboratively, discuss issues that impact overall experience in the destination, and put our money where the mouth is in terms of making those improvements happen.
Sands also sees opportunity in trying to grow hotel rooms, what he considers raising the ceiling in terms of capacity for stopover visitors. While cruise arrivals are soaring, the same quite can't be said for stopover visitors.
There's no question that the cruise business is doing very well, but I think we now have to focus quite seriously with that same energy on putting heads in beds to ensure that the maximum benefit of tourism is being accrued to the people of the Bahamas.
In the short term, Sands says, first, get past this uncertainty from geopolitical matters and prioritize getting heads in beds. Royston?
Thank you very much, Corvell. Minister of Housing, the Honorable Keith Bell, pushing back against claims of immoral or non-transparent channels or practices regarding government housing funding. Earlier this year, opposition leader Michael Pintard called on the government to break down the use of a $20 million housing loan.
Where are they getting their information? but you would note that the government, we have partnered, and this is not just simply this administration, but we have executed a number of public-private partnerships, and so we're getting monies from that source. We're getting monies from the government, from our budget, and so we have funds are available to us. And in addition to that, even though we know that there are Bahamians who may not necessarily have the deposits, we do have Bahamians who have saved tremendous sums of money. Just this morning, someone came into my office with $150,000 towards a home purchase, cash. Last week, it was the very same thing. And so we're getting substantial deposits in. We're telling Bahamians, I want to commend you and encourage you to continue to save towards home ownership. And even if you have debt, do not count yourself out.
In that vein, Minister Bell reiterating to reporters outside the House of Assembly this morning that there are minimal requirements to qualify for government housing.
What to simply be a Bahamian. Simple as that. We are not turning anyone away. As you know, the government has embarked on its very aggressively the rent-to-own program. And so where persons do not necessarily have the deposit, the down payment, or they may very well not necessarily qualify for a mortgage, we can still put them in a government home. And so we don't want anyone to be turned away. Come in and sit with us. And even if you have heavy debt, let us put you on a path towards home ownership and restructure your debt. But we are working with everyone.
Still to come, beware of an online scam. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Your home is your sanctuary. The last thing you need to worry about is rodents. Once they enter your property, they can be tough to get out. If you're concerned about rodents, call Rent-A-Kill Initial. We offer the latest, most effective treatment for safe, fast, and long-lasting results. From prevention to elimination, our integrated approach guarantees protection. For rodent control you can trust, there's only one name in the Bahamas: Rent-A-Kill Initial.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
From Parliament, efforts continue to modernize the country's financial services sector. Legislators today debated 9 financial services bills in the lower chamber that will reform the sector and ensure it maintains its competitive edge in the global market. Fern Carey has the story.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Honorable Philip Davis, opened debate on the bills.
These 9 bills, Madam Speaker, demonstrate our unwavering commitment to meeting international standards while maintaining our strength as a financial jurisdiction. They improve our ability to prevent financial crimes while protecting legitimate privacy interests. They enhance our competitiveness in key sectors like trusts, corporate services, and arbitration. And they provide clarity and certainty to financial services providers and their clients.
He noted that the Bahamas was removed from the European Union's blacklist last year and just a few days ago from France's blacklist.
Under our watch, Madam Speaker, the Bahamas became just the 6th country. The Bahamas became just the 6th country in the world to achieve largely compliant status with all 40 Financial Action Task Force recommendations. This achievement speaks to our unwavering commitment to the highest standards of financial transparency and integrity.
He also noted that the economy continues to outperform international projections.
Our GDP now stands at $14.1 billion in real terms, which is the largest our economy has ever been, exceeding pre-pandemic GDP figures in 2019 by over $1.5 billion.
The bills will also ensure that the financial services industry maintains its status with all 40 recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Well, some things need not be political, and for Shadow Minister of Finance, Kwesi Thompson, that includes the financial services industry. The East Grand Bahama MPs using that as a springboard to his contribution to that compendium of financial bills debated today in Parliament, aimed at making the sector that much better.
This is not a partisan issue. It is a matter of national development and economic empowerment. If we are serious about building a resilient, Bahamian-owned financial services industry, then we must act decisively to remove outdated barriers and create real pathways for local participation. Madam Speaker, the future of financial services in the Bahamas must include Bahamians, not just as employees, but as owners, as innovators, and as leaders. So, Madam Speaker, we on this side, again, as we say, we support these bills that have been presented.
Economic Affairs Minister Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis putting the country on notice to avoid submitting their personal information to an online scam circulating on social media, purporting to have his support about supposed government payments. In an overnight press release, Minister Halkitis insists he did not send out this message, nor is he in any way affiliated with this group or any services they claim to be offering. The Ministry of Economic Affairs urges anyone who encounters links, images, or ads related to this website or other content making similar claims to immediately contact the authorities. And do the same if you suspect your device, personal information, or financial information may have been compromised. This matter will be referred to the Royal Bahamas Police Force for further investigation. Many young people are asked this question: what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, for a group of youngsters, this question has taken on a different meaning because very soon they will have to make this decision whether prepared or not. Daniel Dean trekked through the halls of C.C. Sweeting Senior High School, where the 10th and 12th graders contemplated their future during a job fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kool-Aid #Banana-Fantastic, Mr. Atlantis. Woo!
C.C. Sweeting's career fair welcomed a variety of business establishments meant to spark the interest of 525 senior high school students who will soon enter the workforce. Principal Ricardo Patterson said when he looks at the students, he sees bright futures and potential. And this job fair brought them one step closer to unlocking it.
We're trying to expose our students to the different careers that are out there. We want them to start making decisions. This is for the 10 through 12 graders. We want them to start making decisions as to what it is they want to do in their lives.
Anaya Cartwright will be going into the 12th grade this fall, but before taking this step that can sometimes be intimidating for teens, she's grateful for a peek into her future.
This gives us students the opportunity to look for jobs before we graduate so that we have an idea of what we're doing so that we don't have to go searching for that. We already know we have a source of income, which basically cuts down the stress of having to find that after we already graduate the 12th grade.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force, Fire Department, the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Water and Sewerage, even the Myers Group, umbrella company for KFC, Burger King and Anthony's, among groups presenting to the students. In the past years, the conversation about youth in construction has been in the forefront, accompanied by claims that a good sum of those in the industry, aged 19 to 25 years old, tend to have poor work ethic. And even more, according to Aldika Jackson, HR coordinator with Osprey Construction.
Me coming out to the job fairs on a regular basis, a lot of young people, surprisingly, have no clue of what a construction company does.
Not only is it an ever-growing and fast-paced industry, she added, but a lucrative one too. But she's afraid too many youngsters have become accustomed to the soft life.
But those people with those skill sets are actually people that are regularly employed. Those are people that are entrepreneurs. Those people are able to demand the pays and stuff that they want because everyone needs a house, everyone needs a building.
Her aim to encourage youngsters to not limit themselves or their options. Whether a career in construction, retail, or law enforcement, school executives and presenters hopefully ignited a spark within the students, making their occupational paths clearer. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Construction and retail were significant contributors to the GDP last year, if you recall. Thanks, Danielle. And Michelle Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Michelle?
And VJ Edgecombe impressing at the NBA Draft Combine. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a $1 wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and $1 as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to $1 wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Michelle Knowles, topping sports with the NBA Draft roughly a month away. Top Bahamian prospect impressing and opening eyes at the league's combine, which kicked off yesterday in Chicago, Illinois. VJ Edgecombe, a projected top 5 pick in this year's draft out of Baylor, showcasing his skills along with several other top prospects. Edgecombe during the maximum vertical jump, posting a 38-inch vertical, the highest of his group. Cooper Flagg, the consensus #1 overall pick, had a best jump of 35 inches, 3 inches shorter than Edgecombe. In his lone collegiate season, VJ averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals per game, while shooting 43% from the field and 34% from three-point range. Still on hoops, the journey to the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2027 officially began for Team Bahamas on Tuesday with the 2027 FIBA World Cup qualification draw in Doha, Qatar, the site of the tournament. The Bahamas was drawn into Group B for the Americas region, along with Puerto Rico, Canada, and the second-place finisher of the FIBA Americas World Cup pre-qualifier North. The qualification process for the World Cup will be held in 6 windows over a 15-month span and will run from November 2025 to March 2027. Team Bahamas will play the first of 6 windows against Canada in November. To the diamond, after nearly 2 decades, Senior League Baseball set to make its much-anticipated return to the capital. Our intern, Swanson Gibson Jr., catching up with one of the men at the center of making this all possible.
The New Providence Amateur Baseball League looks to breathe new life into the Bahamian baseball landscape. After a 19-year hiatus, the organization is resurrecting its Senior Baseball League for both young and senior adults to thrive. President Jeff Francis expressing his excitement and optimism.
This is going to be something. You have these older guys who still think they can ball, and then you have the younger guys who are going to come in there. This is indicative of baseball in the Bahamas. We played at a high level all of our lives. When I started playing Senior League Baseball, when I came into the league, I played against former major leaguers, former guys who played at AAA, AA, and they never played down to our level. We had to play up to their level, and so that would made us better ball players. And so you will see the same thing. And so right now you probably will see some of our former professional baseball players who are at home, who had nowhere to play. Now you'll probably see them joining the league also. So the level of play is going to be, I think we'll probably be able to get it back at that AA level that we had in the 80s and 70s.
We finally got the green light to use the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, the new baseball stadium. And so this is the time now for us to start baseball. And so a lot of people is excited. All of the young men that been home for years waiting for Senior League Baseball will now have a chance to come out and play at that level.
Francis also discussed scheduling, team rosters, and coaching.
The 25th of May, we will start our season. And so far, we have 5 teams, which is great for a start. But I think as the ball players come back home from college, high school in the U.S., there are going to be a lot of ball players probably vying to get on teams. So hopefully most teams will have space on their rosters. As for my team, I'm also coaching the Sharks. I'm book solid. I have a full roster with 2 reserves, and I have about 5 fellas coming on from college probably this week. And so my team is ready to go, along with the other teams also.
Francis adding that the competition and reps are needed as the Bahamas tries to bolster its current standing on the senior world baseball scene. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
So on the diamond this time, from seniors to the youngsters, Freedom Farm holding their all-star festivities this weekend. ZNS Total Sports team catching up with BBA President Clarence McKenzie, and how the event highlights some of the league's best players and how it works hand in hand with their development.
So the growth of baseball continues to grow very quickly and fast. And, you know, one of the things we always want to do is put our kids in a competitive environment. And this all-star skills competition, we'll see exactly, you know, which kids have the best arm, which kids can run the fastest, which kids have the best accuracy, and which kids can hit the ball pretty far. So this puts the kids on the map where we can then start to highlight them and feature them. And so we see exactly what youth development looks like in the next 2 to 3 years.
Let's look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
Hey, honey, you got no message for me yet? Can I tell you why I get no money? At least not yet. I get my money. Managers. Oh, and I done upload it.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Your check is ready.
Thanks. I got it. I come for that little thing. You got it?
Money managers, responsible lenders for responsible people.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening to you, Basil.
Good evening now, Royston. After almost 2 days of torrential rainfall, the skies are beginning to open up and dry conditions are on the way and will be with us for at least another week or so. Now, your temperatures around the Farm Islands, Marshall, Abaco, 77 degrees, 79 in Green Tulkey, that's also in Abaco. Freeport, Grand Bahama, 79 degrees. In Bimini, we have a temperature of 82 degrees. Well, the Berry Islands, I should say, 78 degrees there, 78 also in Harbour Island and Rock Sound, Eleuthera, Alderstown, Cat Island, 79, Black Point, Exuma, and Kemps Bay, South Andrews at 79 degrees, San Salvador and Rumkey also reporting 79. Georgetown, Exuma, another 79 there, and that continues into Rankin Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands. Matchetown, Inagua with a warm spot tonight at 82 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81 degrees. And your forecasts are for tonight. We're looking at mostly cloudy and warm conditions and isolated thunderstorms along that frontal boundary, which is really right now around the Eleutheras and heading into the Exumas as well. But for us here in the capital, skies will be clearing and we'll see lots of sunshine developing as we head into tomorrow. Mostly sunny, quite nice tomorrow. High temperature getting up to 86 degrees. And the extended weather forecast, lots of sunshine returning to the forecast area that will carry us right into the middle part of next week, Wednesday. But notice those temperatures. We're going to start getting those summer-like temperatures starting on Monday with 91 degrees, and we will maintain those 90s as we head into the middle part of next week. And with the humidity, it's going to feel a lot warmer as we head into next week. So, Royston, pretty nice weather conditions for the next several days, but brace yourself for some very toasty temperatures as we head into next week.
I think we're all bracing. Thank you, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At Tonic Williams Darden Highway, I'm Tijaro Hudson. This is ZNS.